Hello, y'all. It's 9:55 p.m. So nobody helped me with $65 for a hotel room tonight, but I had help with food this morning. But I have a lot going on, a whole lot, so much that I hope that I'm able to leave out of here with the full phone charge. So I don't know where to start, but I'll say that I basically feel if I feel like as if I'm officially kicked out of Pensacola and have nowhere else to go. So I kind of feel tied down with my Social Security check in my bank with the idea of like professed targeted individuals say that, oh, keep moving around and keep traveling, don't stay in the same spot. And well, I don't have enough money to be doing that, and I don't have my own car to do that. But I feel kicked out of Pensacola. So, like tonight, I have to be out in the cold and rain. It's supposed to be under 50 degrees, like 48 degrees and cold. And so I'm going to have to be forced to be out in the cold and rain tonight. And then tomorrow I get paid the Social Security check. So it looks like I'm going to have to find a way to get out of here and go. I don't know where to go or where I'm going to go, but gotta find somewhere else to go. I don't know if another city in Florida or out of state somewhere. I don't know where to go, you know. Excuse me. So an incident happened when I went to go swim and shower. That just ended everything. That just ended everything. That Pensacola is done with me. And so if y'all wanted me out of Pensacola, y'all got y'all wish. I gotta go. So I mean, I got wrongfully kicked out of and banned from too many places, and basically don't have nowhere to go anymore. So it happened in New Orleans. Couldn't stay there. My hometown, New Orleans. I can't go back to New Orleans. So I don't even have a way to, especially on emergency like that. I don't even have a quick emergency way to get rid of all my stuff in my storage unit. And I don't have anybody to help me either at all. So it's like someone suggested that I volunteer to work with the Red Cross. I put in an application and they say I passed the background check, everything, but kind of find out there's something I cannot say it on here, on YouTube, that disqualifies me from getting to work for them. And nothing I did wrong, but I just cannot say it on YouTube, but I can say it on my blog. So can't volunteer for the Red Cross. And plus they're an Illuminati organization anyway, I just remembered. So I personally feel like I'm in shambles right now. So I'm tired of being manipulated to be, if I got to get wrongfully kicked out of here, wrongfully banned from here, people secretly snitching and tattling on me, or they'll manipulate me to be forced to give up and quit somewhere or something. And so the place that I would go swim and shower, I can't go back there no more. And I was like, so I was falsely accused of being the cause of a dangerous safety hazard and being singled out and picked on for something that well, not every single one of us, but a lot of us do. So if they have a drain in the middle that they always had and the water goes through that drain, the manager falsely accused me of creating a safety hazard and trying to make like I would be the cause if somebody busted their head or something. And I'm like, well, why? It's like no matter who uses the showers, they were the water would, go down that drain. I mean, they put it to where the drain would go part of the hallway, and that's when any of us take a shower. And so I haven't showered in a few days because of them squeezing my organs really bad with the directed energy weapons. And so they squeezed my organs so bad I can't even, bend down. So in cases like that, I would need the handicap shower to be able to hold on to the bar, and to be able to sit down on that bench. Because if I'm standing up and I try to bend all the way down, it makes me feel like as if my organs are balloons about to burst, pretty much. And it's unbearable, excruciating pain. So I couldn't take a shower for the past couple of days, the past few days, because of them squeezing my organs. I couldn't even just put my pants on or put socks on. And so I need that to use the handicap shower. With them doing this to me with the weapons. So that lady was trying to tell me to that I should use a different shower on the other side, and then I have OCD and stuff like that and don't feel comfortable with the other side, And so, and I'm basically wondering why is she picking on me and singling me out? Because it's like, I hardly see the woman. I see her like maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe between one and maybe once or twice or maybe 3 times a month. I don't even see her every day. I don't see her all the time. But almost every time I see her, it's either she's confronting or questioning me about something I'm falsely accused of, or she's telling me that somebody made a complaint about me. The previous time that I saw her, she confronted me, of course, about, about people making complaints about the alcohol smell. At least she defended me with that by saying, well, maybe she's disinfecting. And I said, well, I have OCD and I've been doing this, And she's like, well, oh, okay. She's like, well, maybe she's disinfecting, So I didn't get kicked out or banned for that. Plus, there's plenty of air circulating around, But it's like these abusive, narcissistic, rich, racist perps, especially downtown, they would sneak behind my back and make reports. And like the manager of a certain restaurant would be like, well, there were numerous complaints that you did this X, Y, Z. And a lot of times it'd be like false accusations of stuff I never even heard of or that nobody ever approached me before. So Pensacola is officially done with me. And as I said, I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I gotta go unofficially go somewhere else tomorrow. Like get on, I don't know I don't think I can take an Uber because I can't afford an Uber or go far. And I'm too fat for an airplane. Can't rent a car because I'm homeless. So I feel kicked out of here. So it's like I got falsely accused of being a cause of, a hazard of people slipping and falling for something that, and when any of us take a shower, the water goes through there. So I'm like, well, if I go from the pool to the hot tub, I've had numerous times, even last week and this week, where if I go to transfer from the pool to the hot tub or vice versa, I'd be on the tile on the floor in my bare feet. I'd be on the verge of slipping and falling. So back then, they remodeled the floor to where it won't be as slippery, and it has some kind of friction, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but the floor is way less slippery because back then the floor used to be very slippery, and I fell a few times. So they changed the floor in the locker rooms and showers to where it's more slip resistant. So I figure this lady's picking on me for another excuse to run me up, make false accusations, and run me out of here for stuff that all of us do. So when I was taking a shower, and just as I got done rinsing myself off, and they had someone that was inconsiderate and just turned off the other shower rather than asking me if was anybody using this. And so I said, well, most of us usually have to turn two showers on in order for the water to get hot. It's just like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Oh, I just was thinking about I didn't want to waste water. So the manager, after I went to fill up my water bottle, she asked me, well, hey, where have you been? I just saw you or whatever. And I'm like, she said, well, was that you? She said, I thought I heard you. I said, yeah, that was me. She's like, oh, were you in the shower just now? I said, yeah, I just got out of the shower. Yeah, I just, took a shower. So like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Take a shower before you go swim. So she's like, paused for a while and then started to leave me alone. And then started confronting me. Look, I'm almost accidentally talking like the biological brother Wyatt. He would say confronting instead of confronting. I am still sleep deprived. And so he started, So she had confronted me about too much water being on the floor. But she didn't mention anything about resources or money being wasted. She didn't mention about monetary or any resources being wasted, or she didn't mention anything about water. The manager, she didn't mention anything about water conservation. And I explained to her, I thought you knew. If you're the manager, how would you not know? Even a few years ago, we used to turn on more than one shower in order to, get the hot water. And so she tried to say, well, maybe you should transfer and use a different shower, because she's like, and you put all of that water on the floor or whatever. And so she acted like as if she was started to use satanic hand signs, but then stopped herself. And so then she said something about, well, I would rather y'all use cold water. I would rather y'all shower in cold water than for someone to slip and bust their head. Well, how and I talked to one of the other ladies that comes there, and she's like, yeah, we always, it's like for one reason or another, I'm getting picked on about stuff that a lot of us do. So why am I the only one scapegoated and picked on? About I'm being scapegoated and picked on about um, you know, too much water. I mean, we in a doggone, swim and shower. Like, how can it be too much? What you mean? So I'm really confused. And I mean, if I had to, I did record a video explaining, but because of the online perps, I just, kept it private. So, I mean, I made a couple of small videos, physically demonstrating. So, I mean, they have a drain where the water goes down. So, I think that the manager is just making shit up for an excuse to just randomly pick on me, being targeted as a way to for an opportunity, to give me the message that you're not welcome here, we don't want you here, or and also instill fear that if someone were to slip and fall, it's all Candy's fault. When you blame all of us women, then girls and women. So I got really confused, like, and narcissistic abuse, and the lady, she was making narcissistic mannerisms and facial expressions as well, and then they had this boy when I had tried to put my leg. I tried to get the big jet in the hot tub, and I was in there before them, and they hurry up and hijack the spot just before I can get over there. And then the boy, he was popping his gum really loud when you ain't supposed to have gum up in there. And then he wouldn't let me put my leg up to because my legs, let me show y'all. My legs are extremely swollen. You see this? From the sleep deprivation and direct energy limits. My legs and ankles, they're swollen. So he wouldn't allow me to try to run my shin on the he wouldn't let me run my leg on a big jet. So I said, excuse me, can I get there? He said, yes, ma'am. And then he just barely moved over, like barely an inch. And I'm like, you didn't even move over, And so me trying to keep down confusion, I just was looking at him like, I can't believe, like, you say yes, ma'am, and then don't even want to move over, And he's able-bodied, he ain't disabled, And that was my first time over by that spot, and I'm saying, like, these persons, they know how to set you up and try to sabotage and everything. When the target is trying to go somewhere, the perps hurry up and hijack and steal it before the target, and then the target can't even get to, So then he gave me the hate anger look, like as if I'm forbidden to look, and try to frighten and intimidate me. And then shortly after, him and his friend left. So then I was able to finally stretch my legs out and try to, it's like when I try to run my leg on the big jet in the hot tub, the right leg hurt, or it was way more pressure and pain than the left leg. And just like the right leg would usually be way more swollen than the left leg. And my legs haven't been this swollen in a while, in a long time. But I've been more sleep deprived. It coincides with the sleep deprivation. And which, if it's raining and I ain't got nowhere to go tonight, I definitely ain't going, it's another night, I definitely ain't going to get no sleep. So, I'm tired of, like, I can't even go swim and shower in peace that it's always somebody got to pick on me about something, and it's like the abusive narcissistic perps want me to be wrongfully punished with forced forced to have, forced to take cold showers as a punishment, undeserved punishment. When even at the YMCA downtown, I was wondering if the perps, how were they able to get away with security cameras to watch everything I do? And like, how would a man know what I'm doing privately in the bathroom? And I didn't get any closure. Like, how would a man know exactly what I'm doing in the bathroom? So it's like, so I'm like, well, I figured that somebody had to have been covertly watching me, because they used to manipulate the shower temperatures, that I had no control over the shower temperatures, and they were manipulating, like, as soon as I get in the shower at the YMCA, no matter which shower I use, and they would manipulate for me to have forced cold water, and then when I'm almost done rinsing, that's when they make the water good and hot. So I'm like, it's winter. Why would this lady want people taking cold showers in this freaking winter? I have to be on the streets at night in the cold. So when I go there, I try to get as much heat as I could, as much as safely possible, So I don't know why that lady just, and you know what? My initial instinct told me that I initially, I didn't want to go in the first place, but I made myself go because I love to swim and I love the hot tub and stuff. But so to be, picked on and harassed for something that, or singled out for something that all of us do. And I said, well, why am I being singled out if the majority of us do it, and then we've been doing it even a few years ago? So what makes me wrong now and the only one? So, like, she did, as I said, the manager didn't mention anything about water waste or water conservation or anything with the money or whatever. But she just mentioned about safety hazard and danger of if somebody slipped and falling. Like, well, they remodeled the floors to where it would be less slippery. So, as I said, that's a gang stalking tactic to get rid of me, or to stop me from coming there. After I had already spent $133.25 for 5 months. So I guess the rest of that money got to go down the drain. And it's like, well, if I've been doing this, I mean, almost every time I go there and I shower, why am I wrong today when I wasn't wrong all month last month? I wasn't wrong last year. I wasn't wrong a few years ago. Why am I just wrong today? And that lady has, given me issues before and been like rude and smart ass, narcissistic. And almost every encounter with her, she was narcissistic to the point where almost every encounter with her is like an almost borderline heated argument. Like, I'm scared to even talk to her because it seemed like communicating with her, it seemed like it's always the potential to lead to an explosive heated argument. And it's like narcissistic abusers, they shouldn't be allowed positions of authority. And it's like they're the ones always gravitate towards manager, CEO, team leader. They're anything but the lowest of the totem pole, or the lowest of the hierarchy. I mean, they got to be above the lowest of the hierarchy in positions of authority and control. So I guess I ain't welcome to go there no more, you know. So I said, if I get kicked out of, or wrongfully kicked out of, or banned or manipulated out of, one more place, then I guess I got no choice but to be forced to leave Pensacola. I've ran out of places to exist. So I don't even know. I guess I have to do some overnight thinking of what city and state to go to. But I hate cold weather, and I hate West Coast, and I hate up north. So I'm really scared. I'm really scared. And then, when I was trying to ask on, social media about where would they have like a quick way to get housing for low income or whatever, and it seemed like the professed targeted, the so-called targeted individual community, they basically showed me that they don't give any fucks about me and feel like as if they hate me and I burned my bridges. And those are the ones with narcissistic personalities. Some of them just instigated and defended the lying narcissistic abusers in the popular fake T.I. perp cult. And y'all want to talk about Christianity and God's love and everything, but y'all the first ones who hold grudges and lack forgiveness. But you love to talk about God's love and God's mercy and God's forgiveness when you don't even you hypocritically don't even practice it for yourself. They have people in the so-called TI community that's still pissed at me and hate my guts from an altercation or whatever from 2020. If they still hate me from 2020. Or they have me blocked, and then they try to make me out to look crazy and be like, oh, well, she had us blocked. No, y'all either unfollowed me or blocked me. If you block me, I block you back. But if you unfollow me, then I block you. So you won't have to worry about me no more. If you unfollow me, then I block you, so you won't have to worry about seeing my content. If I'm that much of a nuisance to your timeline. And then, professed targeted individual community, they don't even have mercy, love, compassion, and forgiveness, but they do all the devil's work and then falsely claim to be God's chosen, and they try to mix Christianity and New Age, and So yeah, they try to play like they're the victim and be like, oh, well, she blocked my account. I can't see her tweets. Well, motherfucker, you blocked me first. You blocked me first, or you unfollowed me. And no matter who, even if it's the writing community, or, I don't know how I ended up following so many patriots, but I don't consider myself a patriot. Never did, but they say some conspiracy truths, so that might be how. But I'm not a conservative Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I never aligned with any political party. Never did, ever. And I never voted. Ever in my life. Not that kind of voting. I voted for people for homecoming in high school, but political voting, never in my life. So, never went to the polls, none of that. But I've been registered to vote, but I don't think I'm registered to vote in Florida. I don't think I am. Well, why register if I'm not gonna vote? So I don't know if I'll end up having to go to a different area of Florida. I mean, I don't know how bad farther south is from Hurricane Ian damage. So I don't even think I can go towards that direction. So I don't know where I can go. But I don't have enough funds to be just constantly staying on the run and traveling. Like, I wish I could. I wish I had a passport and get the hell out of America. But I heard some people say your gang stalking is way worse in other countries, and it's easier to be wrongfully locked up and put in jail or prison, and it's harder if you don't speak their language. So, yeah, people in the so-called TI community, if I cry out for help, they leave me to be punished with suffering. And they do like the perps, tell everybody, don't help her. I tried to help her in the past. And it's like somebody be like, oh, well, God is going to bless you for helping her, when this person got clearly one-eye symbolism or satanic symbolism on their Twitter profile or something, or Instagram or TikTok, whatever. So, so people want to talk about, oh, she burned her bridges. Well, you want to know how many times we made mistakes and offended God? What if we burned our bridges with God or with Jesus Christ? I guess more of us would be dead by then. But if God is a forgiving God and a loving God, why, people, narcissistic abusers, they stay grudgeful and unforgiving as a way to exert more power and fear, instill fear into the victim and exert more power over the victim. And they'll do stuff like, if they're mad at you or holding a grudge against you, it seems like they want to try to test for you to slip up. If you beg on your knees, beg for mercy and forgiveness, what they'll do is they'll manipulate you into falling into the same trap of messing up in their eyes, messing up or offending them again. They'd be like, see, she ain't sorry. But they'll manipulate to make things like, see, she ain't sorry, because, like, say if you cuss somebody out and then later on y'all separate from each other and then you come back to be friends again, and then you try to apologize to a narcissistic abuser and they're like, oh, and it's not accepted because she had to tell you to apologize to me. And so then a couple of months down the line, they provoke and manipulate for them to for you to cuss them out again. And then they'd be like, see, you never change it, but you manipulate and set me up to fall into that trap, to have to cuss you out. Or lash out on you or go off. So it's like professed targeted individuals, they ignore me showing proof of my targeting and then lying and saying that I'm a fake TI. Or that Candy's not a real TI, Candy's a perp, stay away from her. And the regular perps bragged and laughed about turning everybody against me and lying on me. We smeared you in the TI forums. Oh, we already lied to them and told them that you joined us. So why don't you come and join us? Hell no. So, but they got professed fake Christian TI perps that are playing both sides, and they're very narcissistic abusers. Abusive, narcissistic, fake Christian TI perps. Fake hypocristian TI perps. So if they get mad and stay mad for 10 years, 10 years later, they still don't like you. As I said, they have people who I might follow and they follow me on Twitter, and I never told them anything. They never told me anything. And next thing you know, you're blocked. I'm like, what did I do? Because somebody lied to them and said X, Y, Z, or somebody put something in their head about me. See, as I say, they got the lies, false rumors, and smear campaigns rampant in the so-called TI community. Like, why are professed targeted individuals acting like gang stalkers or doing the gang stalkers' work? And people say that the majority of TIs are fake anyway, and that there's only probably 2 or 3% real TIs, and almost all of them are fake. All the rest of them are fake. But they have some people who have told me, even the fake ones, have told me that they know that I'm one of the realest TIs in the so-called TI community, and that's why I'm so hated. But people want me they try to manipulate for me to feel like I did something wrong or I said something wrong, But I'm glad that person has said, well, even if you felt like I'm just paraphrasing, even if you felt like she, you should still, she still needs help. But even professed target individuals, they be like, stay away from Candy, don't help her. Or they'll ignore me trying to contact them. But if you ignore my DMs or me tweeting at you, why are we still following each other? Why are you following me, or why am I following you? And even on my other account back in 2020, when smear campaigns and lies and false rumors were made about me by the popular fakes, it's like I had been on Twitter for not even 2 weeks, and almost everybody in the so-called TI community that I try to follow, you're blocked on almost everybody. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I just got on Twitter, and I never been in those conference calls or nothing. Hardly anybody following me on YouTube, because almost everybody in the so-called TI community on YouTube hate me, and I don't even really get to see TI videos anymore. And so they have the popular fakes that practice witchcraft, like Terry Joe Jr., who's a fake narcissistic abuse victim coach and fake TI perp. And he got over 20,000 subscribers, and he charges money for fake life coaching, and only a small handful of people is calling him a fake and a scammer. But he got a lot of fake supporters, a lot of blind people. And he don't need your help. He don't need your money. He got a place to live. He got a car. He's living great. He sold his soul. Him and what's her name? Adriana Tellez, the Spanish girl. She sounds like she's MK Ultra, like an MK Ultra robot. And she's deceiving a lot of people, and just because she sounds fake smart to be such a young person, and everybody's gravitating toward. But these people, they're deceivers. And those are the ones who get the most honor, undeserved honor, love, and respect, and they're narcissistic themselves. So the fact that I may have to leave Pensacola tomorrow and don't know where I gotta go, well, it doesn't look like this $910 is gonna freaking stretch me. Dang. Well, I was trying to not say how much the Social Security check is, because, as I said, the online gang stalkers, they be trying to dissect and, they be trying to dissect and calculate, and it's not their business. And so, for people who say that they're targeted and Christian, they even defend and agree with the satanic perps against me. And so when the fake TI perps, when I call them out on their shit, the narcissistic fake TI perps, what they'll do is they'll lie. They will lie and say that if you don't agree with Candy 100%, if you don't 100% agree with her, then you're a perp. Or she thinks everybody who doesn't agree with her is a perp. You're gaslighting me. Because if you falsely accuse me of being fake, but if you say that a perp did something right to me, you know, when clearly they're evil and clearly they have a manipulated agenda. So like with the lady at the pool, you know, manipulating to any other person, the average natural person would think that, well, you deserve to be considered unwelcome there. Oh, if you're putting all this water on the floor. Well, so is everybody else. But a real targeted individual who really cares, they would know that the manager has an agenda to try to get you kicked out, or you know, she's trying to tell you they don't want you there no more. You know, and I have not gone there for like at least a week. I have not gone there. I haven't been there for like almost a week. I mean, over a week. But even the guy at the front desk said, yeah, I ain't seen you in about a week. So, he said he hasn't seen me in about a week. Yeah, it's been a little bit over a week. I don't remember if it was last Wednesday or so, because last week I was very depressed. And right now, you know, I'm feeling very depressed. And then, you know, so like, this is what the gang stalkers do. It's like, if I do something natural and normal, or something that, if it's a problem, nobody said anything for like 3 years. And then all of a sudden, I'm free to do everything. I mean, do this, do that for 3 years. And all of a sudden, oh, you can't do this. Or you were wrong for doing this. I'm like, why am I wrong today and I wasn't wrong for 3 years? Like when that lady had wrongfully kicked me out of that Southtown market, I was like, back in 2021, when I was working at the Seville Quarter and showering and swimming at the YMCA, the lady never complained. I mean, she used to always look at me like I was crazy. And her husband acted a little weird. But she let me eat there, and, you know, but I think I went there last year too. But, oh yeah, it was 4th of July of 2022. And I was trying to kill a fly. You know, I didn't want the fly to touch me with my OCD and everything. And so she waited till after the customers left. And she was wearing the color red, and I think I remember she was throwing up satanic hand signs. And she just looked for an excuse to kick me out and say, you've been here for 2 hours now, and this and that, whatever. I'm like, well, I came here yesterday, I came a few days before, I came this day, I came that day. How come I'm wrong now? So she wrongfully kicked me out and banned me, and then her husband acted very nasty towards me. When I saw him like a couple of months later, I didn't recognize him being in a crowd of everybody else downtown Pensacola. When he was walking on Palafox, and I didn't recognize that was him. And I tried to say hi to him, and he looked at me like he looked at me like as if he wanted to haul off and knock the shit out of me. But I'm glad there are a few people who have mercy and compassion on me. And even in the TI community, I'm not that bad person or that monster that everybody thinks that I am. That profess targeted individuals, if somebody tell them, you know, Candy needs help, and then they manipulate and convince that person to stay away from me and avoid me at all costs. And then say exactly what the perps say. She's an ungrateful, begging scammer. Don't help her. Stay away from her. Don't talk to her. But y'all say y'all Christian and love the Lord, but you want to call me an ingrate or a worthless piece of shit or Candy ain't shit. You know, so y'all hate me worse than the gang. If you say you're targeted, you hate me, you got more hatred and hostility towards me than the gang stalkers. And then you try to rationalize it by falsely saying Candy is a perp. Well, you say Candy is a perp, but what perp activities did I do? Just like with my twin sister, oh, Candy molested my kids. Okay, what activities did I do? You didn't even tell me. But I know what I didn't do. Touch your kids. I know what I didn't do. Perp you. But they have people who militantly ignore me on Twitter, or I'm still kind of new to TikTok, but on Twitter and on YouTube, if I try to comment on their videos, and then next thing you know, oh, I'm blocked. So on this channel, I probably only follow about 4 or 5 targeted individuals. Ain't that sad? While my channel consists of gang stalking and targeting individuals, most of my stuff, the people I'm subscribed to are people like cooking and gardening and maybe a little bit of conspiracy stuff here and there, or prepping. But the preppers, a lot of them, I'm thinking about trying to unfollow them, because it seems like as if they are the rich, popular fake preppers in the survival prepping community. They act like as if they're prejudiced to the poor and homeless. So the so-called prepper community, you know, I can't even ask questions on how to survive. I can't even ask questions like, how do I survive, you know, as a homeless person, or how do I do this? And so Alaska Prepper Rudy, it seemed like as if one of my blog posts that I did on him, the online perps wanted to force that to go viral, where it shows up in one of the main search results. And I'm like, it wasn't even that serious. I'm just pointing out him, and he falsely professed to be Christian, but he's a narcissistic abuser. And the way he responded to me, you know, was like a narcissistic abuser, and very nasty towards me. And when I try to ask, you know, how can a homeless person be a prepper, or how can you prep as a homeless person? And so he made it like as if I asked the most ridiculous and idiotic question. So when I did a blog post about him, they wanted that to be in the main search result, one of the top main search results, and one of the top main blog posts. So I ended up unpublishing that blog post. You know, I mean, it was just a one-time incident, but they wanted me to look like an ass, you know. But a true Christian would not have responded to me like that. If you know how to be a better Christian than me. And there was a lady named Prepper Princess or whatever. She just recently did a video talking about herself being targeted. And so I had asked her something related to homelessness and prepping. I don't remember what it was. It was like last week or the week before. And so I don't watch her videos all the time, but I watch a few. And just like Alaska Prepper Rudy, I had been subscribed to her for over a half a decade. Since probably 2015, 16, 17, 18, somewhere around there. Long time. And so when I try to ask her a question, she's like, I mean, if she said that she has, you know, helped out a lot of homeless and encountered homelessness and stuff like that, or, I mean, something related to homelessness. So when I try to ask her something about my homeless situation, I don't remember what it was, and she's like, it seems you have internet access. And then she asked me another question. And I'm like, so you're doubting my homeless situation just because I have internet access? Or just because I have a phone? She may not know, but I've explained to people, you know, what's keeping you homeless. Like, I went to try to give it another shot to look on Craigslist and see if maybe they have anything new. And They raised the prices on even to rent a room. And they also want the deposit to be the same as the amount for the room to rent, keeping me to not be able to afford to even rent a room. And they want background checks, but the thing is, they want first and last month's rent. They want background checks just to rent a room. And they also want you to have your own vehicle and proof of insurance. And I have showed people my picture if they want to see, well, can I see what the picture when you look like? And then next thing you know, they go AWOL on me or ghost me and refuse to rent a room to me because of the way I look. They don't like the way I look or something. So now they're making it more difficult to rent a room. Not an apartment or house, but a room out of somebody's house or apartment or something. They want first and last month's rent, or they're trying to ask for, copy off of real landlords and ask for the deposit. So one thing, that lady that was mean to me when I went to eat breakfast earlier this week, I forgot to tell y'all that a day or two later, she threw up the devil horn hand sign. I saw it. And then I'm like, well, that explains, you know. So then I think it was a day or two after the situation when she was rude to me about the butter. And then one of the managers yesterday, I saw she threw up. She had like the upside down devil horns hand sign. And so when I went to eat dinner this evening, that oversized teenage girl, it was like 20 minutes from time to close, and me and a few other people, we were panicking because everybody was away from the cash register. And then I went to try to go look for the girl, and she finally came out and gave me like this intimidating and threatening look. And she finally served us, and then like when I was leaving out, then she decided to be fake nice and start talking to me. But when I went, they had these perps in the I think it was a silver SUV with one headlight, and I didn't get to get a footage of the headlight, but I got the license plate, and then they went to where they beat me and made it there before I did. And then they went and stole ice cream. And then hurry up. And then the moment when I went to go and eat, they hurry up and like they got the final confirmation to just up and leave the moment after the girl came and after they got the confirmation that I paid for my food. And then they up and left. Y'all went and stole food up in there. And I mean, it's like how the perps can get away with doing that. So, I don't know, they just weird. And so it's like ever since the swimming incident, you know, they've been on my ass real heavy with the gang stalking. Like it ramped up because it died down for the past few days. And I haven't been seeing that much activity. But it's like after what happened with the shower incident, even though it wasn't pool related, but it was the shower thing. But swimming is one of my top favorite activities to do, or just to be in a pool or a hot tub or whatever, hot tub or the pool, you know, or the beach or you know, and so it seemed like, well, wow. Made me feel manipulated to be forced to hate swimming. But I'm like, well, I can enjoy swimming somewhere else, you know. But that's how they do, like manipulate for me to have to just throw money down the drain. I can't even go back there no more. Not welcome back over there no more. I'm like, why this lady pick today to just start picking on me? So but as I said, I'm gonna have to be out in the rain in the middle of the night. And I didn't get help with the hotel room, but as I said, I mean, I don't even know if I gotta just leave and go somewhere else. And as I said, I can be in a hospital and profess targeted individuals. If they heard that I was locked up in jail or the mental institution or the hospital, even if it's the physical hospital, if a medical emergency happened to me, the professed targeted individuals, it's like it would be like I don't exist, or they wouldn't care. And they're always saying, we TIs need to unite. We need to stick together. And at the same time, they're blocking and ignoring me. Like as if they want to force eject me from the TI community. Like they think they got the authority. And there's a hierarchy in cult, it seems like cult, whoever is just exposing the program in general and not talking about showing their personal experiences, they get more respect and honor than the ones who's actually going through forced homelessness, workplace mobbing, sleep deprivation, being tortured with the weapons. And you can just come on social media and say anything. Oh, they're pulsing my ear right now or something like that. Well, or they be like, oh, the V2K is telling me this. But then they want you to show proof of being targeted, but then they want to say, stop talking about the gang stalking. Just focus on the neuro weapons. I blocked the lady for saying, I think her name was Chapawi Zonta or whatever. I blocked her for saying that to me. Gang stalking is not real. Focus on the neuro weapons. Stop talking about the gang stalking. Gang stalking is not real. Focus on the neuro weapon. Like, why y'all don't want us to talk about the gang stalking and y'all be like, shut up and ignore the perps? And, if you got a so-called position of power and authority, like manager falsely accusing or scapegoating me for something that everybody should be, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you took a shower, the water would go down there. How would the water not go down there? They have drains to lead towards, the water leads to these different drains. They have the drain in the hallway. And so, yeah, that's what the lady said. And all that water, So let me show y'all her facial expression. So, her facial expression was like this. And she was like, oh yeah, I would rather everybody take showers in the cold water. Like that. Like she's trying to manipulate and convince me, like, I'd rather everybody take showers in cold water. Something like that, what she tried to do. So, that's what she said. That she would, you would rather people take cold showers in winter? You wouldn't do it, so why would you make us do it? So, I don't know, but the professed targeted individual community, a lot of them are against me and hate me, just like the perps. Like somebody on YouTube that called herself Real Zona. She was saying how targeted individuals need to stick together. And she showed footage of her proof of her targeting. I tried to comment. She didn't block me, but I tried to comment and support and, tell my experiences. And she militantly ignored the shit out of me while responding to everybody else. And a few other professed targets have done the same thing. Like that guy, he wears contacts and he called himself God's Warrior. Well, I didn't block him, I don't think, but I unsubscribed from him a long time ago because he professed to be Christian, talking about God and all that, but he talked to everybody else, but then ignore everything I say. But my comments would be there, but he would respond to everybody except me. And a few others. It's a whole, quite a bit. I can't think of everybody who's done that. But I know Richard Moore, he got hateful and blocked me, and I never did him anything. He blocked me on YouTube. And so he probably was defending somebody on Quora, because he used to be nice and supportive and answer my questions all the time when I had the Quora. So, I wonder, how did he get away with having possession of a directed energy weapon that he saw? How did you get possession of that? If you claim you're a real TI, or you one of the popular fake TI perps pretending to be targeted, and then call everybody else fake. I never did that man anything. And I forgot what he would call himself. I don't remember, but profess targeting individual community. It's like, I even have people who we are mutual followers on Twitter, and some of them ignore my DMs, or they ignore me trying to mention or at them, or tag them, or me trying to talk to them. So it's like, it made me feel really shaky that I got fake followers that they won't even be supportive or talk to me. But they got some people that's narcissistic and controlling and bossy, and treat me like I lack common sense and want to try to coercively manipulate and control and try to fix me. And those are the ones, and they defend and agree with the perps. Like, say for example, like a real targeted individual, if I would have told them a story about the shower incident, they would have said, well, yeah, it really does sound like that lady that lady don't want you there no more. But the fake TI perps, they'll be like, well, the manager was right. Just like the regular perps. The manager was right, and you did this wrong. You did X, Y, Z, Z, Z. And I'm like, well, I guess I must not be too chosen, huh? If I gotta be wrong. And so, like, if they have a perp with one headlight, and they right up on my ass, people be like, oh, well, you shouldn't have filmed that. And then the fake TI person be like, well, yeah, you were wrong for filming that. And I'm like, well, don't you film the same thing every day? So that kind of hypocrisy, I block you for that. Because it's like, how you going to tell me, oh, you shouldn't have filmed that when you do the same thing every day? And a lot of professed targeted individuals, they dabble into the occult, new age, and witchcraft and all that. Even the ones that say that they're Christian. Not all of them, but it's either narcissism, witchcraft, new age, or occult. It's like, it got to be either one of those that y'all got a mixture of. It's like, dang, do they have any pure Christian targeted individuals that's not associated with either one of those? That's not narcissistic? I'm not saying there aren't any, but they are hard to find. So, I know it's getting late. It's 10:59 p.m. I'm trying to remember what other stuff that may have happened that I forgot to mention or talk about. So, I'm really scared to have to just up and move somewhere, go somewhere else. But some professed targeted individuals say, oh, when they travel cross country, their targeting is less when they keep moving around. That their targeting is less when they keep moving around, because when they keep moving around, that the perps have less opportunity to set up shop. But in 2019 and 2020, professed targeted individuals were saying, you should get you a donated van, get people to donate you a van, get a GoFundMe, get people to donate you a van, and live and work in your van and travel the country and live on donations and ask for donations. Now all of a sudden, they have a change of narrative. They sold their soul to the devil, took the bribe to become a perp. So now they're not talking about their targeting anymore. They're quiet about their targeting. And they say whoever talks about their gang stalking, you're crazy, you're schizophrenic, you need medication. Well, wait a minute, I thought you were anti-Illuminati, anti-New World Order. But you play both sides. But you say I'm crazy, but you're the one who's being wishy-washy and double-minded. So I'm really scared that I have to move somewhere else, because to get kicked out of so many places that are made to feel like I'm not welcome. Even if I'm not kicked out of here, kicked out of there, just manipulated to feel like I got to get the message that we don't want you here. We don't want you here no more. We don't want you here. So now I have caught some of the popular fake TI perps they shunned me for having a GoFundMe, or shunned me for begging, or losing respect for me for begging. Well, they got CashApp, Venmo, GoFundMe, Zelle, whatever. I'm like, well, how you shun me for begging, but you beg too? You're an able-bodied dude, an able-bodied young guy. You're an able-bodied young male. I mean, why aren't you working? So, other than me talking, I'm the only noise right now. It's very quiet in here. This is the type of quiet the only type of environment I can work around, which ain't that many jobs like that. So that's why I try to just focus on my writing. But I don't know, if I can't leave Pensacola tomorrow, then I don't know. It's just very hard. Dang, because I felt like, well, so many things I'm gonna miss. But fuck the people here. I don't like the people here. And then if I were to move to, for example, if I were to move to Duluth, Minnesota, which I ain't going there, but if I were to move to Duluth, Minnesota, they'd be like, well, go back to Pensacola because we don't want you here. Or go back to where you came from. Or go back to your hometown, New Orleans. But I'm here and everybody say, get out of Pensacola, get out of Florida. And everybody just all about trying to control you. And then if you don't take their advice, in which the Bible said we got to test the spirits or try the spirits, you can't take a human's advice just without thinking or analyzing or questioning their motives. Blindly following your advice, and you're a complete stranger. So they'll get mad if you don't follow their advice because they think they're so right and got such common sense. But how do I know whether or not you're trying to steer me in the wrong direction and trying to set me up to fail and fall and further destruction? And people ain't looking out for your own good. Narcs, they lie and say, oh, I'm doing this and that for you, and it's for your own good. No, it's for their own benefit, and so that's for their satisfaction to control you. So, I mean, I would be starving most of the month if I had to bounce around from city to city and state to state on this income alone, So, I mean, with Wayne Daniels, I did not know that was the thing. That people say that you should travel around as a target, and you get kicked out everywhere anyway. You can't stay anywhere for too long. So they say, well, keep traveling, keep moving around, and keep asking for donations. So when I mentioned about how is Wayne Daniels in a different city and state every day, and Brian too is in a different country every day. But I apologize. I mean, I was still somewhat new to I wasn't new to my targeting, but I was new to the TI community because I was going through this targeting and didn't know there was such a community. So, I mean, I feel like really bad, but when I said Wayne Daniels is a fake TI scammer, because I told y'all about what he did with the email. That's what made me think that, because when I said that he had a copy of the community policing handbook. And so then he lied and said, I gave you a copy of the community policing handbook. Can you donate such and such? And I'm like, well, I never received it. And then he ignored me. And then he had manipulated times, like as if he was perping me with the time. So then when I did the video saying Wayne Daniels is a fake TI scammer, then he started to say I'm sick, crazy, and need help. I need to be locked up in a mental institution. And from then on, the TI community hated me, and they started thumbing down all my videos when I did start showing proof. But other people said that he tried to get over on them with that too. But he was actually dishonest and lied to me. And he tried to make it like he had exclusive knowledge or exclusive information that if he said he was giving it for free, but then he withhold that, meant like, well, I ain't going to give it to you unless he lied and said he did give it to me. But he wasn't going to give it to me like, well, if you donate me such and such. I'm like, well, I'm homeless on the streets and struggling myself. And so I lost a lot of support. And the TI community been hating me ever since. And then the hate increased when I had the Twitter feud with Yurdes Gonzalez, who's one of the popular fakes. She smear campaigned and turned everybody against me. She's the reason why everybody blocked me on Twitter within less than 2 weeks of having that Twitter. The old Twitter that I had. So, and I'm just either being ignored or attacked or forced to suffer alone. And the narcissistic control freak fake TI perps, they be like, well, I tried to help her. Well, I had to cut you off because you're an abusive narcissistic bully over the phone. Very controlling and coercive, and try to frighten and intimidate and try to scare me. And talk to me like a retarded baby who lacks common sense. You act like you want to try to pimp me around. As I said, these professed targeted individuals, they got more mercy, forgiveness, and kindness towards their perps. But they have such hostility. It's like they got more respect for the devil than they have for me. Like I'm worse than the devil. So I just stayed away from Wayne Daniels for a while, and I felt like, well, then I heard he died, and I'm like, well, I felt bad I didn't get to make a truce with him. But I don't even know if he did what he did out of desperation. But I had never lied to anybody or was dishonest like that. But they be having people that try to, and they prey on my vulnerable situation of being in need and needing help, and exploiting that with. So it's like more people hate and disrespect me. So it's like I'm afraid that if I do get locked up, if Candy Grandpre disappears, then who's going to be concerned and be like, I haven't heard from Candy Grandpre in a while, or I haven't heard from Creole Target in a while, I haven't heard from Target about a PsychWorld in a while, I haven't heard from Candy in a long time. Let's go find her. But everybody wants to find Cliff U, and I'm glad it took a while, but they eventually found him. But people make it like as if you burned your bridges, you deserve to be punished, and whatever happens to you, oh well, we don't care. That's not a Christ-like way to do things. So what if God gave up on you? If y'all a narcissist, even professed Christians be like, oh, she burned her bridges from any, But how many times have you slipped up and wronged and sinned and offended God yourself? All of us have. And speaking of that, they had these people today that they were preaching the gospel and passing out gospel tracts. And then these other people I stumbled upon, I had just woke up from the 5-hour sleep and feeling sleep deprived, and they try to act like they wanted to act like a cult, and then narcissistically quiz me about the Bible with very elementary questions and try to force me to sit there and answer them. And I was trying to tell them, I'm not really interested, thanks. Normally I don't do that, but I really don't like to be put on the spot and caught off guard and be quizzed about Bible questions that I already know. So and y'all give a false gospel. Y'all give a false gospel of salvation and everything like that. Ooh, I'm sitting here keeping tabs on the time. It's 11:11, and let's see, my phone is at 48%. Ooh, I gotta get it charged. So I got business to handle. Like I needed to make copies of printouts and I gotta gather all my tax information and try to get, the tax stuff done. But it's like, how can I do that when Waterfront Mission play with my mail? How am I gonna get my tax returns? So that's a hassle. So I don't even know if I could just bounce and leave tomorrow and go somewhere else, or if I gotta just stay here and try to get tax stuff figured out. Or maybe they can mail stuff to my new address. I don't know. So it was hard and a struggle to get some of my tax information last year, because I almost didn't get my W-2s from Sky Zone. I almost didn't get them. So I'm really scared and trying to avoid losing my mind and going crazy. I make mistakes too. I do wrong too, but I'm not the worst person in the world. Professed target individuals act like they hate me worse than the government. Worse than they hate the government. They know, they claim, they be two-faced. They be like, oh yeah, I hate Biden and this and that, whatever. But if they saw Biden, they would smile in Biden's face and have dinner with him and stuff. They know they would kiss Biden's ass. Oh, I can't stand Nancy Pelosi. Oh, you love her more than you love Candy Grandpre. And even professed targeted individuals, they will believe the smear campaigns about you. So even though I know I was telling the truth about Wayne Daniels trying to cheat, scam, and get over on me, but he tried to gaslight and lie, and me and him had a big argument and had a back and forth videos, and it wasn't until Yurdes Gonzalez created a false smear campaign about me. Actually, originally the first person, it was a lady from Canada named Valerie back in May 2020. She was the initial first that falsely accused me of trying to scam and get over. And she had an argument with a lady from Australia that was a Christian lady that was trying to help me. And I'm like, if you way in Canada, like, because she misunderstood something I said, you know. And so just because you misunderstood what I said, you know, so people might be like, Candy, get her karma, because look what she did to Wayne Daniels. So now, no, it's not even like that. He did try to, and I have, you know, but I know it's old news and he's deceased now, and, you know, I'm sorry about that. You know, but here I'm being like constantly, you know, I can see the online perps, you know, reveling and talking about Candy Grandpre is getting her karma. That's new age talk anyway. But how about y'all reap what you sow for your gang stalking activities towards me and anybody else? But, you know, Real Zona on YouTube and Bling Queen Diva 1 on Twitter. Well, Bling Queen Diva, she used to ignore the shit out of me and talk to everybody else, but she recently blocked me. But I blocked her. I'm like, well, all these people who ignore my tweets and talking to everybody else, I'm blocking y'all. Like that, this person named Hornito Dog or whatever, he used to follow me on my other account, but I tried to talk to him, and now he talked to everybody else but ignore me. Or they had this other person called Justice for TIs or something like that, and he did the same thing. Well, he responded a couple of times to me, but he refused to follow me or talk to me. Or if people want to say, well, TIs need to connect and get along and this and that, whatever. But, you know, but it's like a lot of professed targeted individuals, I can't, whether real or fake TIs, they got some of them that's really being targeted, but they still glorify the new age Satanism and all, witchcraft, occultism, tarot card reading, everything, like psychics, all that, you know. So I basically feel kicked out of Pensacola and ain't got nowhere else to go here. Run out of places to be. Like, I felt kicked out of my hometown, New Orleans. Like, well, I got kicked from here, unwelcome here, banned from there, banned from my own hometown. Like, kicked out of my own hometown. So now I got to go somewhere else. And I feel very sad because you abusive, narcissistic, regular perps and fake TI perps, you got your freaking wish for me to get kicked out of Pensacola. Can't go back downtown for any reason at all. Can't go back downtown. Well, I got to get mail there, but even the mail there, I can't get all of my mail there. So that's why some of the mail I got to be forced to go to Waterfront Mission, where they play with my mail and lie and say I don't have mail, and I would have a bunch of footage of them doing that to me. And they're a fake Christian cult too. So my professed target individuals, they say, well, go stay in the shelter. Y'all ought to know better than tell another TI to stay in the shelter. Because shelters are cults. I can't go to cults. Can't go to a cult. So a fake homeless shelter cult, I can't go there. So it's really scary. You know, so I'm fresh meat to be on the streets, and if I gotta leave Pensacola and I end up somewhere else, and, you know, if perps falsely feel like, well, Candy is off her meds and mentally unstable, let's get her locked up. And other professed targets don't even care. They don't care if you die, if you get murdered. But a lot of misunderstandings, I know that between me and other professed target individuals, if we had arguments and stuff, I mean, if they feel like, if I say, well, you hurt my feelings, if you talk to me this way, they don't feel like they hurt my feelings by talking to me in a certain tone and stuff. So that's why people say they question whether or not I'm autistic or Asperger's or something like that, if I'm so easily sensitive with everything. Well, I've been abusing a cult and forced medicated, all mentally messed up. It ain't my fault that I was abused and been in a cult and everything like that, you know? So I was trying to get help, but it's too late now. I was trying to get help to get out of the rain. Help with the hotel room to get out of the rain. So I'm really scared about just having to make a sudden decision and just go. I don't know where I'll go. So I know my storage space is running out and it's getting later. So thanks for listening to me. I gotta go.